Hello, my name is Ryan Smith, your SBA Loan Pro and principal and founder of Think SBA. Think SBA is a nationwide SBA 504 and 7A loan brokerage specializing in working with entrepreneurs and business owners who are acquiring a business or franchise, buying out a partner, or purchasing real estate. In this video, I am going to walk you through what I call the science of SBA loan approval as it relates to acquiring a business. The science of SBA loan approval consists of 5 fundamentals. Number 1, experience. Number 2, personal liquidity. Number 3, personal credit history. Number 4, cash flow. And number 5, credibility. You may have noticed that I didn't say collateral, and that's because in most business acquisitions, collateral is not a requirement. Fundamental number 1, experience. When individuals call me and I pre-qualify them, the first thing I want to know is, do they have direct or equivalent experience in the subject business that they will acquire? If this is the case, then we move forward. How do I determine if they have direct or equivalent experience? Number 1, I ask them if they have any experience that directly relates to the subject business, either in the past or the present. For example, direct experience is if an individual is buying a restaurant and in the past or present, they have either owned or managed a restaurant. That's simple. However, equivalent experience is a little bit more difficult to define. Here's how I define equivalent experience. Equivalent experience is when an individual, again, either in their past or present, has demonstrable experience that is able to transfer to the subject business. Let me give you a real world example. I was working with an individual who was the national IT director for a major FDIC insured lender. This individual had never operated a national franchise restaurant in his life. However, he had, as a national IT director, managed people, he had managed budgets, and he had managed projects. What I was able to do is to demonstrate to the lender that he had equivalent experience to manage, own, and operate 15 franchise restaurant locations. The second fundamental is personal liquidity. The SBA requires that an individual who is buying a business inject 10% of the purchase price. Now, that 10% can either be in the form of cash, a seller carry, or a gift provided by a family member. Cash can be in the form of cash that's in checking account, a savings account, money market account, or marketable securities that can easily be converted to cash. Now, the second would be a seller carry. The seller is able to contribute up to 5% of the required 10% equity injection by providing a carry note that is put on permanent standby. Permanent standby simply means that the SBA will not allow the buyer to pay back the loan to the seller until after the SBA loan has been paid in full. Next, let's talk about the gift. An individual family member, and let's face it, it should be a family member. There are very few friends that like you enough to give you money as a gift and not receive anything in return. That family member gives a gift of any amount, and they have to sign a gift letter. The gift letter simply states that they are giving a gift of X amount and that they are not requiring repayment of the gift in any way, shape, or form. The third fundamental is personal credit history. Personal credit history is more about the history and less about the score. For example, do you have a bankruptcy, a short sale, a foreclosure? Do you have credit card charge-offs? Do you have student loan charge-offs? Those are the types of questions that I'll ask. And if they do, then we can talk through those. And sometimes I'm able to mitigate those, and sometimes I'm not. Fundamental number 4 is cash flow. There are 2 forms of satisfactory cash flow. Number 1, actual historical cash flow in the prior fiscal period. That's when a business is profitable and does have satisfactory cash flow to service the new debt taken on by the buyer of the business. The other type of cash flow is projected cash flow. If there isn't historical cash flow present, there are instances where a lender will accept projected cash flow. Fundamental number 5 is credibility. What's credibility? Credibility is an individual or individual's ability to speak intelligently about their ability to own and operate the business. The reason credibility is important is because when an individual or individuals are applying for a loan, they will have to answer questions to an underwriter. These questions will come in what I call an underwriter call. So they will be on the spot, on a call, answering questions about the business. It is vitally important that they are able to answer those questions in a credible way that demonstrates their knowledge of the business and their ability to come into the business and successfully operate the business on a day-to-day basis. In summary, when buying a business, it's important that these 5 fundamentals are present. Let's review. Fundamental number 1, experience. Number 2, personal liquidity. Number 3, personal credit history. Number 4, cash flow, either historical cash flow or projected cash flow. And number 5, credibility. If you're interested in buying a business and you don't know whether or not you'll qualify, do yourself a favor and call me, Ryan Smith, your SBA Loan Pro, and let me tell you whether or not you're able to buy a business with an SBA loan.